Sure, honey, no problem. Alright, then. Welcome to Body Bags. I'm your Friday reviewer, Chris, from ChrisB Movies. You know my name is Chris, and you know I love B movies. Now, Slingblade from 1996, not a B movie, but easily one of my favorite movies of all time. I truly feel that Billy Bob Thornton was robbed of the Academy Awards. He should have won Best Actor, but instead they gave it to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty? Are you kidding me? It wasn't even in the same ballpark, but because Kevin Spacey is their little sweetheart. You know how that goes. That's why I don't watch the Academy Awards anymore. I'm just saying. So Billy Bob Thornton wrote, directed, and produced Slingblade, and this was based on a short film that he produced. And at that point, he was really struggling. He was living in a hotel with a friend, surviving on donuts and rum, and never thought his little short that he made would ever do anything. And then it got in the right hands. Somebody gave him a lot of money, and he made the big blockbuster Slingblade. And this is all about Carl Childers, a man who has developmental disabilities. He was abused greatly by his family, as he's telling a bunch of schoolgirls who were doing this big report for school. They never really accepted him because, of course, he had developmental disabilities. His parents didn't keep him in the house. They put him in a shed. They dug a hole, put a little cot in there, and his mother would go out there and feed him and give him Bible studies and give him homeschooling, basically, but they basically really neglected him. They didn't want him in the house because he had developmental disabilities. It was a horrible way of treating somebody. So because he was in that shed, the only thing around him were like lawnmowers and stuff, and so he would tinker with them, and he got to the point where he was a true connoisseur of fixing lawnmowers and being just this all-around handyman. So one day, the next door neighbor was at his house, and his mother was cheating on his father with this guy. So they're getting it on, they're screaming and yelling, and Carl thought that the next door neighbor was trying to kill his mother. So he took a sling blade, or Kaiser blade, whichever you want to call it, and he came in and nearly chopped the guy's head off him. He just murdered the guy. Seeing this, his mother got so upset and pissed off. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And so seeing that his mother didn't appreciate what he did for her, and that he was probably cheating on his father, he basically killed her as well, which he ended up in a mental institution. And he was there for a good many years. Now comes time, he's ready to get out. The head guy psychiatrist, I believe he was actually, says, "Hey, Carl, it's time for you to go. You gotta go, man." But Carl didn't want to go. He just kept coming back saying, "No, I can't survive out there." He's like, "What am I gonna do?" And the guy's like, "You have no place to stay?" So he breaks the biggest rule of confidentiality ever. His psychiatrist has Carl stay over his house so that the next day he could find Carl a job with Mr. Cox's outfit, which is a place of fixing lawnmowers. Now, if I was a psychiatrist, doctor, whatever, and a patient didn't have a place to stay, I would find him a place to stay. But I wouldn't put him up in my house with my family in there. So he breaks that huge rule of confidentiality. But the next day, Carl never slept. Kyle just stayed up all night like that. But going further back, his family looked horrified that this mental patient spending the night at their house, and they tried talking to him. They were horrified by him. So the next day, he gets him a job. Meets Mr. Cox, who runs like this lawnmower outfit, and he's tentative at first. He's like, "Well, he did what?" And he vaguely remembers the story of what Carl did to his mother and the next door neighbor, and he's like, "But he's all set. He's okay." And so psychiatrist's like, "Yeah, he's fine. He's good. He's ready to go." So he's like, "And you say he can fix lawnmowers, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah." So he gives him a shot because the guy he has working for him, Kuda, can't fix anything. But just because he's friends with Mr. Cox, he keeps him around. And so Carl ends up being this big superstar, this rock star. He fixes everything. And they had him sleep also in the back room of the lawnmower repair service place. So Mr. Cox put him up, put a little cart in the back, and the guy... Carl stood up all night and fixed everything there. And so it's like, wow, things are really working well for Carl. So Carl goes off to get some stuff at the little Stop and Shop near the house, and he meets Frank Wheatley. And Frank's this little kid whose father committed suicide, and he has this really close connection with his mother. And so when he meets Carl, he's like taking laundry, and of course he can't carry, he's like dragging it. So Carl helps him along. Carl starts talking with him and just forms a bond right off the bat with this kid. You know, he becomes really good friends with him. And the kid looks at him as not only a friend, because mentally, you know, they're probably around the same age, but physically, he also looks at him as a father figure. And his mother is really supportive and really sweet and really nice, Linda. And Linda is willing to, at her son's request, take Carl in and give him a place to stay. And so, you know, things look to be going pretty well for Carl. Now he's not staying at the place where he works. He's in a house with a family. There's only one thing. Oh yeah, Linda's boyfriend Doyle is a prick. Oh my God, Dwight Yoakam, who's a decent country and western star. He's a great actor. He played the best prick I've ever seen ever. He is such a jerk. He just is so insultive of Carl and Frank, you know, and then afterwards, after he totally insults him, calling him retard, he's like, I'm just kidding. Really cockily. If cockily's a word, I don't really think it is, but I make up my own words, okay? Just letting you know. And so he's very abusive towards Frank and Carl. But he's like, well, it's your house, so I guess he can stay. But as things progress, Doyle gets worse and worse, and he turns his verbal abuse into physical abuse. And Carl, seeing this, well, he's not very accepting of this. And there's one point where, you know, Doyle's like, well, you know, you're my family now, so Carl has to leave, you know. And again, in this movie, there's a lot of politically incorrect things said, like retard, slow, and it's very, I mean, it affects you because it's like, that's politically incorrect. You can't say that to somebody. That's just mean. And this Doyle is so mean and nasty. He randomly throws parties at his girlfriend's house and expects her to carry ice and chips, and he is just abusive and controlling. And as things get progressively worse, Carl has to make a decision. Is he going to bring that Slingblade back? This is a great film. It flows well. It's a little over 2 hours. Jim Jarmusch plays a great cameo role as the Frosty Cream guy. The whole delivery back and forth is just nothing short of brilliant. And the way Jim Jarmusch just kind of looks at him, it's outstanding. You really got to see this movie to really appreciate that. The acting is absolutely incredible. Lucas Black, who plays Frank, does a really good job. Billy Bob Thornton is friggin' amazing. Dwight Yoakam, oh my God. J.T. Walsh plays a prick. Plays a slimeball prick. And he plays one of the other patients who's just constantly talking to Carl and just telling him all these horrible stories of the things he did. And Carl is just freaked out by him. And at the end, he just sets him straight. He's like, get the hell away from here, I'll kill you. And also, John Ritter plays Vaughn, who plays Frank's mother's best friend and also Frank's mother's boss, Linda's boss. And they're best friends. And Vaughn, you know, he's gay. And, Doyle is relentless on him. He just totally insults him and just says the worst things ever to him. So all the interactions between everybody, and especially the side characters, like Doyle's band members, they're freaking awesome. Like, one guy is just like, leaving his soul. If you haven't seen it, man, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, watch the film and you'll know what I'm talking about. The whole interaction with them at the party is just absolutely hysterical. The dogs are where I say they are. One of his friends is like in a wheelchair, and the other one is just this pure musical connoisseur. He's like this pure poet, and it's just, as we seem to believe, it's hysterical. There's a lot of scenes that are pretty hilarious, and like the interactions with Carl and Frank are absolutely amazing, and so it just kind of puts a smile on your face. It's cute. You know, it's cute. Great direction. Billy Bob Thornton rocked this film. I'm just going to say. So if you've never seen Sling Blade, watch it. You will love it. I guarantee it. And thank you so much for watching. I give this one a 10 out of 10. You bet I do. Sling Blade rocks, man. And if you've never seen this one, definitely check it out. It is awesome, and you will appreciate it. I guarantee it. Alright, thank you so much. Check out all the other reviewers. They all do a bang-up job. Saturday and Sunday, Big Heavy Head is coming your way, so check them out. As well as the following week as well. And don't forget to watch those late-night horror movies. Read up on your latest Fright Mags. Don't forget to tune in to another episode of a show we call Body Bags.